before he could get off the bag, and when he came up, the first thing he did was turn right to third base and look at him.
That's true, Bob. But, you know, there's so few opportunities to score in softball, and I really would have thought that they would have run.
Swing and a miss. Interesting, the positioning Barry Newhouse takes at third base. He's standing with his foot on the bag right now over there, but when he gets ready to go, he steps off the bag and puts the side of his foot in contact with the bag on the foul side and drops 1 foot back. See, he's not on the bag. He's up against the side of it. Here's the pitch. Fly ball, but foul down the first base side into the lower seats. 8,343 fans in the ballpark. This ballpark rated in capacity at 8,001. They added some bleacher seats way down the right field line. And as you can see, if we get a look at it a little later, there are fans in those seats.
The Mariners had 5,700 at the game the other night, the line score I saw.
Pop-up foul. It's out of play. Stan Nacarado and his Tacoma Tigers of the Pacific Coast League. Look at that, how far those fans go. They're full up to the end of the regular bleachers. That's the 8,000 mark. And then they spill over into the right field side. They're up on the hill on the grass knoll down along the left field side by the light tower.
Well, this crowd got the Canadians' attention. One of them told me they played before 350 at one time. That was the biggest.
Here's a ground ball back to the pitcher. Walford has it to first, and he got out of the trouble. Bob Stewart is out. Walford, the pitcher, to Jim Wright at first. Third inning for Canada. No runs, 1 hit. There were no errors by the United States. 1 man left, and at the end of 3, it is still USA nothing, Canada nothing. We'll be right back.
For one, let him swing away. And if you want to gamble a little bit, Cartwright, well, he's out of there. Butch Batt, the veteran, is behind the dish now, so he'll be on deck. We'll see. We'll let Jack Starling call the shots here. The infield is in. They don't believe they can give up 1 against the fog and get back in it, so they'll try and go to the plate. Boy, right on it, Bob. I'll tell you what, Van Dusen kept that head in there, went from shoulder to shoulder. He pivoted that back foot, comes away with nothing, 1 and 2. But McWillie, as every pitcher who is in that situation knows, this guy is on his stuff.
With McWillie pitching, the bunt is difficult because he has that ball rising, coming up in your eyes, and if there's a difficult pitch to bunt successfully and get on the ground, is that high pitch.
Here we go, 1 and 2. The ball is hit up at us. I'll tell you, Bob, 5 years ago you'd have made that play. Now you're just a guy who can't go up the middle because the ball wasn't right, wasn't up left. It was in front of us in the screen, and I guess I don't blame you for
not diving. Right up the middle, I'd have gone right out the window. So there we are up there, and the ball hit right below that red advertising sign and fell back down on the screen.
We work together again. We're going to bring a fishnet. All right, here we go. 1 and 2. It's on the line. And that ball is slicing foul. Well, I'll tell you what, Van Dusen is a tough little hitter. He is hanging in there tough. He fought that pitch off. Oh, he got a great hand. What happened? I missed it.
The left fielder came in and picked up that ball, and he tossed it into the stands.
Oh, well, listen, they give those balls
Peterson
back. He'll get fined. Bob Peterson. We got to speak to Bobby. This is a tournament where you throw those balls back. We're on a limited budget.
Well, the infield is all the way up now. There's a big gap between infield and outfield. If Van Dusen could just dunk one, he'd have himself a base hit. Time called. Van Dusen out of there trying to adjust that batting helmet, looking down for the sign and getting a run of him from the third base coach. But he's got a lot of room between the infielders and outfielders.
Had a standard rule when I coached college baseball. The leadoff hitter gets a triple. You pick the third, the first pitch. In softball, you're capable of getting 3 strikeouts. There it is. A great play by the shortstop. Nothing. How about that? That's just a fine play by the shortstop, Bobby Stewart. He's able to glove the ball, and he holds the runner, so Van Dusen is out if you're keeping score with a 6-3. And that'll bring up the veteran, Butch Batts.
Butch should get a warm welcome here because he's one of the local favorites.
Boy, here is the veteran. Have you seen him recently? Can he bunt the ball? What are we going to look for here, Bobby?
Well, I'll tell you, I think Butch can do almost anything. He has played fast pitch at the major level, the top competitive levels for so long that he's the kind of guy you would put confidence in that he could do almost anything. If there is a drawback right now to Butch Batt, it's the fact that he has seen practically no tournament action. He's been sitting on that bench. He's been warming up pitchers in the bullpen. he has seen virtually no tournament action, and this is a difficult time to walk in and try to take over.
There's a little conference out here, and the players called Al Beckman out, Bob, which is kind of interesting, and I assume they're talking about one of two things. One, what does Bats like to hit? Does anybody have anything on him? And two, if he squeezes now, we've got to chop him down at the plate. Of course, the key on the squeeze, you got to keep it up the middle. Make that pitcher feel it. He's the slowest getting off the mark in this situation. And, of course, if you get it down the line, you're risking a foul ball.
If anybody in that infield knows Butch Bat, it would be John Green, the third baseman, because he plays for Victoria, and they play against each other in league play during the summer in the Pacific Northwest. So that would be the man you go to for information on Butch Bat, the big fellow from Seattle who's now at the plate.
All right, here he is, 42-year-old Butch Bat. That was John Green. McWillie deals. It's the rise, and it's out of the zone. I'll tell you, Bat showed me something there, because most of the people in this tournament do not have the patience to lay off the rise as it goes out of the zone. And the veteran Butch Bat is able to lay off. We're looking for a fly ball once again if you're rooting for the team at the plate.
Canada has action now in the bullpen, not hard serious yet.
A good pitch by McWillie. Really broke it off at the corner. Notice the second baseman, Bill Christie, is filling in after the pitch. That's in case a bad throw from Newhouse would get over McWillie's head. It would be an easy run. So he fills in. All right, 1-1. Well,
I think
danger of a strikeout is there.
Right?
Very definitely. Boy, they just believe. I got to believe John Green has told his skipper and Gene McWillie, throw the rise. Because we've seen that 3 straight times now. Butch Bat has not looked good on the rise. He's got to get the bat on the ball.
Yeah, he went for that rise again. Again, it looked like a bad pitch, high and outside, and that's where they pitched him.
His timing didn't look good either, Bob. I think that you really hit it on the head. The nail on the head is he hasn't had a lot of action in this tournament, and he really did look a little rusty. The step and the stride, or whatever you want to call it, was not there. So it's down to the skipper, Jack Starling. We saw Starling really get this ball club rolling with a very key drag bunt in the ball game against New Zealand. The first time in the 3rd inning, Starling was out on a ground ball to the second baseman, Bill Christie. Well, I'll tell you what, that big McWillie is just buzzing now.
He has struck out 7 in the ball game in 4 2/3 innings, and he's just right on top of that fast delivery now. He's just driving it home.
0-1. Well, I'll tell you what, that catcher, Newhouse, bouncing around a little bit, keeping right on us there. 1-1. Gene McWillie trying to work out of a jam. Gave up a leadoff triple to Jim Wright. Got Don Van Dusen a tough out. Got him out on a grounder to the shortstop. Struck out Butch Bat. And now is trying to get rid of the playing manager, Jack Starling. He had an excellent pitch that time. There's no way you're going to hit that pitch. But Starling was able to lay off it, and the count is 2-1. Two-way. Outfield medium depth for Starling. Doesn't hit the long ball. Right on that pitch. Fouled it off. All deuces on the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Jack Starling versus Gene McWillie. 60 foot away with the go-ahead run. Jimmy Wright, the first baseman, a leadoff triple. And he got him. So Jack Starling goes down swinging. And the big guy, Gene McWillie, comes up with 2 strikeouts with a man on third and a ground out. For the United States of America, there were no runs, 1 hit.
Signs of giving up and going home. It's still 0-0, and as a matter of fact, there's been only 1 hit by the Canadian team. That a double by Barry Newhouse. The United States has 3 hits off the offerings of Gene McWillie, and now Rob Ginter, who has pitched only 1 man to all the hits off McWillie. Here's the pitch to Russ Van Zoren of the United States, and the pitch is a called strike on the inside corner. Rob Ginter, big, strong right-hander who has come into the game in relief of McWillie, and he cranks into the pitch. Top down the first base side, fielded by Dick. Throw to first, head first slide, and the runner is out. So Van Zoren gave it everything he had as he grounded the ball to the first baseman, Greg Dick. Dick turned and threw to Bill Christie, who covered at first base, and that's one away. And the batter now is Jimmy Wright, who got a triple in the 5th inning to lead off and then was left stranded at 3rd. So some excellent pitching following that by Gene McWillie.
Bob, I really believe your fastest player in softball has got to be your second baseman, because he has really got to cover first base. He's got to go over, if there's a double play effort, ball hit on the left side. He has really got to be able to run. You can't have some slow folks at second, not in this level.
No, sir. There's not much room for any weaknesses at this level of competition. 2 undefeated teams through this tournament have not lost a game, either one of them, as they battle for the World Championship. Fly ball well hit to right field. The right fielder misjudged it a bit, races back, it's over his head, bounces over the wall.
You got a bad break, Bob.
Double.
You got a bad break on that bounce. That was a triple all the way. The ball was misjudged, as you mentioned. Right hit it well, and that was a cinch triple. The right fielder did misjudge it.
Ostrasser started in a couple of strides, and then he had to turn and go back, and the ball is over his head. If the ball really should have been caught, Irv.
Yes, it should have, but a bad break really for the United States in that it bounced over the little fence, because it's all the difference in the world being at second rather than third. Irregardless, Jim Wright gives him a life, and
Wright has a double and a triple in the ball game now, so he's done a great job. And the scoreboard here at Cheney Stadium in Tacoma says welcome to us. And all I can say, Irv, is thank you very much, Cheney Stadium and fans in Tacoma, for a great, great tournament.
They really have been super. Van Dusen, very capable. We saw him hang in there the last time up with Wright on third base. He hit the ball hard at the shortstop, Bob Stewart. He had a base hit in the second, right.
He's made contact, and that's what he has to do right now. Here's the pitch. A pop-up, but foul on the third base side. It'll be up on the screen, rolls away to the top, and then rolls back down again. And so the count is 0-2.
And boy, do you get behind quick against these good softball pitchers. 0-2, you got to cut down the swing. Now you're trying to make contact instead of just really ripping. I tell you, it's tough. These softball pitchers are really special. 100 miles an hour plus you're looking at. They're on top of you, 46 foot. It's a blur under the lights.
Rob Ginter's the man out in the middle now, and a fastball in on the hands fouled back by Don Van Dusen. Van Dusen, the shortstop for the United States. The American team, of course, the 1979 national champions out of Midland, Michigan, augmented by some additions. And Rob Ginter here is pitching with a Canadian team that is basically out of St. Catharines, Ontario. Time called. The umpire out from behind the plate as the batter backed out. And Ginter now steps back off the mound. A lot of people had a part in this tournament as we come down to the championship finish of it all. And we'll try to pass along some of the plaudits that have been so richly earned. High foul out of play from the International Softball Federation. W.W. Bill Keithan, the president, and Don Porter, the secretary general. From the Amateur Softball Association of the United States, Howard Honecker, the president. Bill Plummer, the communications coordinator. The tournament officials locally, Mike Kime, the tournament director. Kent Morrell, the chairman of the organizing committee. Doug MacArthur, the publicity director. Ready again now. Ginter plants his foot. He is ready. Here's the pitch. The windmill is low.
Oh, they're on
the third base
strike, and they gave it to him. Boy, this is going to draw Jack.
Here we go. Here's the argument.
Boy, I'll tell you what. Now, we'll have a real rhubarb here, because that is a tough out.
Let's watch it again. Oh, the United States coach and Jack Starling are out there. The third base umpire is the man who made the call on the appeal from the plate umpire. Now watch.
Let's take another look, because this is a tough out. Van Dusen can handle a bat. All right, it is the drop.
Boy, it didn't look like it to me.
No, it really didn't. It looked like he held up, but the third base umpire after the appeal, Don Wilson from New Zealand, says it's a third strike. Tony Avila, the base coach down there, not very happy. That is a big out for Canada, because Van Dusen is tough. Here's Butch Bat. Looked very bad the last time. Let's see if he can get that strike down.
They'll go to the same spot again. They'll go with that fast pitch on the outside. Of course, it's a new pitcher since Bat batted last time. McWillie had that rise ball on the outside just out of the strike zone and gave him fits.
Butch Bat, the local hero, trying to give the United States of America a one-run lead here.
Here's the windmill, a swing and a miss. He tried to chop down on that one at waist level. and the count goes to 1-1. Thanking the folks who made it all possible, the stadium officials, Stan Nacarado, the general manager of the Tacoma Tigers of the Pacific Coast League, Jim Willers, the City of Tacoma stadium manager, Scott Ryan, the groundskeeper, and his crew. They did such a superb job of getting it and keeping it ready. Here's a swing and a miss on the changeup curve. And, of course, Mayor Mike Parker of Tacoma, Washington was here, and I think still is, somewhere down in that mob scene of 8,343 fans, the largest softball crowd in the history of the Pacific Northwest watching this one. Here it comes. Fastball is down low. Bat leaned over the plate, let it go by. The runner at second base, Jim Wright, there with a double, but he bounced over the right field fence. Top of the 7th inning. No score. Runner at second in scoring position. 2 out. The count is 2-2. Here it comes. Change up, swing and a miss. He struck him out. Bat went for the slow change up, the tantalizing lollipop, and he goes down swinging. And in the 7th inning, the United States, no runs, 1 hit. There were no errors by the Canadian team. 1 man left on, and as we drop to the bottom of the 7th inning, it is still the United States nothing, Canada nothing. And we're going to the bottom now of the 7th inning, the last scheduled frame here. Many of the players who are still here are being introduced along the first base side now and getting a standing ovation as they come out on the field. They've come down from the stands. There are players, I think, from several of the teams. From the jacket colors, I would assume there are several teams involved there.
Well, this crowd is really responding. They're on their field, on their feet rather. I believe it's the team from Mexico. At least some of them. Those are the jackets that we saw around the hotel. But
there's Mike Kime with the walkie-talkie, the tournament director, congratulating those young men. By the way, from the television side, while handing out plaudits, I think we should hand out plenty to our ESPN crew. They have done just a superb job. Producer Jim Rosenberg. Down in the truck, our directors, Kent Sammel and Steve Stedman, Don Blank, and all of his crew who have operated the technical equipment, the cameras, put up the video information, the audio controls. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. You have just done a brilliant job. It has not been easy, very difficult conditions at times, and you've been with us all the way. Brian Ostrasser, the right fielder for Canada, number 3 hitter in the order, leads off against Walford. John Green and Greg Dick will follow the heart of the batting order. So this might be the spot where Canada could get something done. Here's a pop-up to the infield. The second baseman, Jack Starling, calling behind the bag, and he'll make the catch for the out, 1 away. John Green will come to the plate as Starling retires the first Canadian batter in the 7th.
By far, this is the best hitter, in my opinion, on the Canadian team. Not only does he have some power, he's a contact hitter. Very, very difficult to strike out. He has hit the ball to right field. A ground ball to short. He's tough.
They need contact. They need a base runner now. Ground ball, shortstop deep, gloves it, throws to first in time for the out, 2 away in the bottom of the 7th inning. And no score in the ball game. And we're looking at extra innings in the championship game.
Well, we've seen a few of those, Bob.
We have survived a few of those, Irv.
We had a marathon one, 19 innings at the Bahamas. Finally able to beat New Zealand on a single and a triple in the 19th inning. And about that time, we thought it might go 39 innings because a couple of pitchers were just superb. Herlihy and Johnson.
Here's Greg Dick, beats it on a big bounce to the shortstop, and he's thrown out as Don Van Dusen, throws over to Jim Wright. The 7th inning is over, and it is for Canada, no runs, no hits, no errors by the United States, nobody left. And we will go to the first extra inning. The USA nothing, Canada nothing in the championship game, and we'll be right back. Well, the Canadian flag with the maple leaf there is being paraded through the stands at Cheney Stadium in Tacoma, Washington, the site of the 5th World Fast Pitch Softball Championship Tournament that is down now to the last game, the championship game. Canada and the United States, neighboring teams, neighboring countries, friendly rivals, and they're battling for all they're worth for the title. Both teams came to this championship game undefeated in the tournament. And for the United States to lead off, the top of the 8th inning is Jack Starling, the player, coach, and captain.
Of course, he was very hot last inning at the call on the strikeout. He just felt that it was the incorrect call.
Well, Telagatis is going to bat for Starling here in the 8th inning. This is that substitution rule, which of course means that the player coach can come back into the ballgame to play defensively at second base, but he's being batted for here as Evans Telagatis is the batter, and the count is 1-1.
We saw this against New Zealand, as the manager is not afraid to sacrifice himself to put in someone he feels has got a better opportunity to get on base.
So against right-hander Rob Ginter, Telagatis swings and misses, had the full cut, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes. And once again, at this point now into the extra innings, that one run becomes so vital, so crucial. And the team that can get that first run will be in a great way to win the World Championship of Softball.
But not only do you get the good pitching, but you get the good defense.
Ground ball to
Greg
Greg
Dick. Miscues at all, Bob.
Telagatis hit it right on the ground to the first baseman, Greg Dick, who gathered it up, took 2 steps to the bag. And so there's one away for the USA in the top half of the 8th. And here's a man who 3 times during the tournament has delivered the game-winning run batted in. Rod Johnson, the left fielder, batting .321. He is a good one. Fastball is inside. It's a ball. Rod struck out in the first, grounded out in the third, grounded out in the 6th. He's 0 for 3.
Boy, he is due.
He really is, and he's a good hitter, too good a hitter to hold down an entire game.
Ginter didn't like that call. He wanted that pitch. He's behind 1-0. Might come a little fat.
Here's the pitch. He tried to bunt the ball. Drag bunt. He left the ball behind Albert in foul territory, and the count levels at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Nobody on. Top half of the 8th inning. No score.
But didn't you know it'd come down to this, Bob? The 2 best softball teams in the world. No score. They, we just knew. We really felt it'd be the United States and Canada in the final. New Zealand had an outside chance.
Look at that. Right back to the first baseman again. He never got the bat out of his hand before Greg Dick had retired him. Rod Johnson is gone for the second out, and the batter now will be Barry Cashin. So Greg Dick has had both putouts unassisted on ground balls at first base. You're right, Irv, the 2 best in the world, and you knew it wasn't going to be a 7-1 or 7-2 ball game. They were going to go at it and be close. The extra inning, of course, a bonus for the fans is this one goes on, and the big crowd of 8,343 does not go home.
We might point out, though, even though Canada lost 4 ball games to the United States, it was very early when the Canadians were on a swing. They were training in Tempe. They got rid of about 3 people because of disciplinary problems, and they were just experimenting, and they have gelled. There's a shot.
There's a base hit to center field by Barry Cashin. He'll make the swing around the bag at first base and hold on there, and that is the 5th hit for the United States team. The second one given up by Rob Ginter as he came in to pitch back in the 6th inning with 2 out. And so to the plate with 2 away comes Bruce Miller. Miller doubled his last time up as he got a hold of the ball well. And so Bruce Miller is the batter with an opportunity now to try and drive in a run. If he could have moved that double along, he probably would have by choice. But somehow you just don't have that choice. A high pop fly along the first base side. The right fielder coming in, the second baseman going back, and it's the second baseman, Christie, who makes the catch on the run, crossing the line to retire the side. Top half of the 8th inning for the USA. No runs, 1 hit. No errors by Canada. 1 man left on. Middle of the 8th, going to the bottom half. Canada coming to bat, and the score is still 0-0 as the 2 teams battle in quest of the championship of the world in fast pitch softball. You can have all the latest news from the world of sports when you want it, thanks to ESPN Sports Center. Sports Center brings you 30-minute shows throughout each day, including 7 a.m. and 7:30 p.m. editions, 8:30 on the West Coast, packed full of the latest scores, highlights, and interviews. In addition, you're continually updated on all late-breaking sports bulletins. Sports Center is the most comprehensive sports news program on television, and it's yours exclusively on your total sports network, ESPN.
You know what I'm doing, Bob?
You're getting the scorecards ready for extra inning.
That's
extra
I'm
inning.
just cutting up a scorecard. We weren't prepared the last time, and, you know, the scorecard only goes to 10, and we went 19. So the way these two pitchies are pumping, I'm just getting ready, Bob.
All right, well, right now it's the turn of Owen Fogg Walford pitching for the United States to take over against Bill Christie, Terry Chayka, and Barry Newhouse of Canada. The Canadians have but one hit so far in the contest. The short score right now through 8.5, or check that, through 7.5, the middle of the 8th. For the United States, no runs, 5 hits, no errors. For Canada, no runs, 1 hit, and no errors.
Bob, every extra inning game we've seen has been won by the home team.
Well, that's a noteworthy event. Here's a line shot through the middle, base hit. The center fielder cuts it off and will hold Bill Christie at first base. But Canada, in the bottom of the 8th, has the leadoff runner aboard on a sharp, clean single through the middle by Bill Christie, their second baseman.
Boy, that didn't take long, and you know, that Van Zorn can play that defense. He hustled the ball back into the outfield. We've seen a lot of doubles in this tournament just by sheer hustle. Well, we've got the bunt situation, apparently, with Chayka up.
You do have, and it's interesting because in most situations, the infield against Canada has never played Chayka to bunt. They always play him back, and now they have to come up and play the bunt. And I wonder what they're thinking as they do. They're way, way in on the corners. He squares around, then shortened up on the bat. I think he wanted to chop it through. Chayka obviously does not want to bunt that ball. He would rather punch it through, get the base hit. But the key thing now is to advance the runner to scoring position. Christie ready at first. Walford into the motion. And here it comes. He squares around. It's a wild pitch. It got by the catcher. And down to second base goes Bill Christie.
Boy, this really changes everything. Bob, I just believe you've got to bunt the ball now, or else if you've got great confidence in Chayka, you try and get him to pull the ball.
Watch this again, and this may be the key play in the World Championship. I don't know if that was a wild pitch. That may have been a pass ball.
Butch Bats just didn't really get over. The ball was down, but Butch unable to block it. You got a man on second. If you do bunt the ball, you want to make the third baseman handle it. He's got to turn with that right-handed throwing motion and go to the shortstop. And that's not easy. Now, if you bunt to the first baseman, it's a much easier tactic.
All right, here we go. Walford is ready. There's no force, remember, at third. He squares, bunts the ball back to the mound. Third baseman fields it, throws to first for the out. And Starling bluffs the throw over to third base, but holds the ball. The sacrifice has worked. And Canada now has 2 chances to win this ball game in the 8th inning.
Well, here it is on the line, and Barry Newhouse is the hitter. He had a big double in the 3rd, and I mean he hit it a ton, struck out in the 5th. The outfield should come in now. A fly ball is going to beat you, so you want to come in. It's on the line right here. The infield will have to come in. Newhouse is going to be doing all he can to get the ball into the outfield, and he is strong enough. We saw that.
Conversation at the mound now. The outfielders, as Irv said, should come in now because there's no point in staying back. A long fly scores the winning run. What you want to do now is come in and be sure you can cut off the short fly ball or the line drive or play the ball in front of you and hold that runner at third base or have a chance to throw him out at the plate. But right now, the outfield situation is they're laying back, waiting for the conference to end. And now we may have a little conference at third base with the runner there, Bill Christie, who led it off with a single, advanced on a pass ball, sacrificed to third by Terry Chayka, and Barry Newhouse, who had the only hit for Canada up until Christie led off this inning with a single, is now the man at the plate. The United States will break up the conference at the mound. They have Bob Ryan, the big right-hander, a hard thrower in the bullpen in right. Walford has gone this far. He has struck out only 4 in the ballgame so far. The last one, the last man in the 5th inning, but he can be tough in this situation.
And he's got great experience behind the plate in the form of Butch Bat. So Walford and Bat going against Newhouse.
They're going to walk him. They will walk Newhouse. They'll take the bat out of his hands and put him on. It'll be an intentional pass for Barry Newhouse.
It's a good move. 9-hole hitters up, and he hadn't done much.
Right, and the situation there is that Rick Robertson already has been pinch hit for. And consequently, if Canada wants to pinch hit for him again, they'll have to take their center fielder out of the game and give up that defensive strength.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Squeeze?
Well, it'd be a good play in a spot like this. It's the last half of the 8th inning. If it doesn't work, all you do is go another frame.
You either squeeze or you leave it all up to Bob Peterson if Robertson is unable to hit the ball. We'll see. We'll let the coaches make the decision. I'll tell you what, I kind of agree with this. So this kid, I just had the feeling he'd break it up and he'd win it because he is a tough little monkey. Goes to first base with the intentional pass.
Now you have runners at first and third. You also have the potential double play, but I doubt in this situation, Irv, as tough as a double play is to turn, that they would go anywhere but home on a ball hit to the infield now.
Absolutely have to go to the plate. You turn very few double